Congressman Mike Waltz right now, the Florida congressman, sits in the House Armed Services Committee, former Green Beret at that. Congressman, the more we see, the more we just are shocked. Forget about the toll and so many homes destroyed and lives lost, better than 100, I guess, by last count, sir. And there's a sense that even with the president's help and the federal disaster declared, this is going to take potentially years to fix and clean up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's what President Biden's going to see today, and he's going to see that it's going to take a whole menu of federal agencies and their capabilities to help with that. For example, Neil, right off the beach, right behind Fort Myer, is a lot of farmland. It's very rural and produces a heck of a lot of agriculture. So we're going to need the Department of Agriculture to help with those damage assessments, the Army Corps of Engineers, looking at all of the infrastructure and making those assessments, even the Small Business Association, or excuse me, the administration, on all of these businesses that have been devastated and we're just recovering from the years of COVID. So it will be a whole of government approach, and a lot of this aid has both federal and state and local cost share. And that's where we need all elements of our government to come together, set the politics aside, and help these people that are in need. And I hope President Biden also realizes it's a whole swath of the state. I'm on the East Coast where my district is, and the flooding has been historic. We also had a storm surge, and this is a significant event that's going to take a heck of a long time.
You know, Congressman, and I'm going back to your service to this country as a Green Beret. A lot of your colleagues in the state, Republican colleagues at that, sir, including Congressman Stubbe, whose district is on the Gulf side, as you know, says,
yep,
we got to de-emphasize Ukraine. Stop giving money to Ukraine and start giving money here. He echoes the theme, not of all, but of others who say, all right, we have plenty of hurting folks here, including in your state. What do you think of that?
Well, we do. And Neil, I think the irony that's not talked about is the best way to help Ukraine is to lower the cost of oil. Every time Putin has felt emboldened to invade his neighbor, in 2008 with Georgia, in 2014 with Ukraine, and now it's been when oil was over $100 a barrel. So the best thing Biden could do, rather than continuing to send money over there, is to actually reduce Putin's cash flow and his war machine by unleashing American oil and gas. And Congressman Stubbe is also leading an effort to push both the House and the Senate to have a supplemental for this aid and for the other states affected, and not use that as an opportunity to load it with progressive priorities.
But what he's saying really at the outset, Congressman, is that no more money for Ukraine. I know you don't agree with that. Maybe you relate to his frustration over this, but what do you think? It was a binary choice, either or?
Yeah, I think we have to be able to do both, right? We have to stop Putin's march across Europe. If we don't help the Ukrainians stop him now, then he will move on to Poland, he will move on to the Baltics, and that will drag in American troops. So they're willing to do the fighting and dying. They're asking for the beans and bullets. But I think the best way to stop this war would be to lower the cost of oil.
Right now, as you know, OPEC and OPEC Plus countries have decided to cut production by up to 2 million barrels a day. That's double what folks thought. They're trying to goose those energy prices. That enriches Vladimir Putin. So once again, he benefits. Well, we don't.
No, that's absolutely right. So rather than unleashing American oil and gas, and the administration continues to talk about these leases, but what they're not talking about is they're not giving the permits to actually explore the leases in the United States. And this outreach to places like Venezuela and Iran, which has 50 million barrels it's trying to sell as part of the Iran deal, is just a wrong-headed policy. It's wrong from a human rights standpoint, from a U.S. national security standpoint. It's just not working. The answer is right here at home, Neil, and that would solve all kinds of problems, from inflation to what we're paying at the gas pump to Putin's war machine. And there is this entrenched progressive agenda that believes, no, we ought to move towards clean energy. Well, that only makes us dependent on China for the solar panels, the lithium for the batteries, and for the turbines. So it's just trading one dependency for another.
That's actually very well put, Congressman. Thank you very much. I'm Mike Waltz, the Florida Congressman, House Armed Services Committee, former Green Beret, the real deal there. He knows what he speaks.